Today on the show, I'm going to talk about The Dark Knight Rises, and then do a compare and contrast with the not-so-amazing Spider-Man, and it's going to be brutal. And it's going to be brutal. I thought the Lizard Man plan was rather cute and childish. So, let's start off by talking about the Dark Knight trilogy as a whole. I really don't think it's fair to compare one film to another film because all three films are part of one big plot line, and they all work beautifully in concert with one another. It has a beginning, it has a middle, and it has an end. And I really think that... What? Hold on, what's going on over here?
Excuse me, Mr. Plumber? Hello? What's going on here?
I heard a lot of loud noises. What's going on?
You got a real bad situation here. Real bad. It's worse than I thought.
Well, what exactly is the problem?
Well, I don't know quite how to put this to you, but you got trolls in your plumbing. They chewed up the pipes real bad here. Really bad.
How exactly did I get trolls in my plumbing?
Trolls are highly attracted to internet review shows, YouTube clips.
I happen to be making an internet show in my living room.
That explains it then.
What can I do about these trolls?
My prices for basic troll removal start right here.
Whoa, I don't have money for this. I can't afford you to take these trolls away. I don't have this kind of money.
Well then, the way I see it, you got two options. You can keep the trolls, or you could let me come on your show and I could give you free troll advice.
Alright, fuck it. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to my show.
Yeah? What's your show about?
Comics, movies, and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen The Dark Knight Rises?
Yes, I did, and I thought it was very good, actually.
So have you seen The Amazing Spider-Man yet?
Yes, I did see The Amazing Spiderman, and I thought that movie was very disappointing, actually.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about Spider-Man, but let's talk about The Dark Knight Rises first, since we both like that one.
So we both really liked The Dark Knight Rises. What do you think was so good overall?
Nolan took on a very difficult, complex plot, maybe a little too difficult, but he pulled it off.
Yeah, it was
He pulled it off. God damn it, he tried. He tried to make something intelligent, realistic, smart, make us believe, epic.
I mean, that was a huge scale of a story to attempt to try, and I admire even to attempt something that complicated.
He cared. He really cared about this, and he really tried his hardest to entertain us, to do something great for Batman. I fucking appreciate that.
I don't think the movie's perfect.
No, the movie's not perfect, whatever. Fuck you, it's a good movie.
I mean, it must have been a screenwriting nightmare to figure out all the details and cover all the ground that needs to be covered.
Yeah. Nolan is so good with character psychologies. He really makes an effort to understand each character's psychology. I mean, take a look at Memento, take a look at Inception. He's obviously somebody who's very interested in that aspect of characters, and it really builds the story. It really makes it richer, and you care. He makes you care.
Yeah, I remember in Batman Begins really believing that this is what it would take for a real person in the real world to become a superhero, and that was such a strong aspect.
Yes, this is a superhero trilogy unlike any other. I mean, and he raised the bar. He raised the bar for superhero films.
19.
What?
I don't want to throw you off, but we have some visitors on the set. 11 o'clock. Don't stare at him.
What are they doing?
They appear to be leaving negative YouTube comments on your videos.
Shouldn't you, like, do something about this?
Not just yet. The thing about trolls is you don't want to let them know that you're directly paying attention to them. It would only make it worse.
Well, then what are we gonna do?
For now, don't look at it. Don't acknowledge it. Just keep doing what we're doing as if there weren't any trolls in the room. Trust me, just follow this advice for now.
Well, I guess let's get back to the show.
You know, I've heard a few people were actually disappointed in The Dark Knight Rises. We both happen to like it, but what do you think that's all about with the people that didn't like this movie? Because don't think there's much to complain about.
I think that people are complaining because they want to see another Dark Knight. They want to be in with Batman, and Batman's doing stuff, and he's flying around, and he's beating up bad guys, and this wasn't that. It's more about this elaborate plot, which is a very grandiose plot, and it's a very large undertaking, so much so that there wasn't a lot of room for Batman necessarily.
Yeah, I think a lot of children are not going to like this movie as much as other Batman films because there's not a lot of Batman screen time.
It's not just about Batman. Kids are not going to like this movie as much. And people who aren't fans of storytelling, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that might be the case too. Not as many pals and pops and
it's not
Bams
as,
and
it's not
pals.
as fun. But you know what? Fuck kids.
Oh, did you know that Catwoman was in this movie? What did you think about Catwoman?
I did know that Catwoman was in the film. I believe I stated earlier that I was very much against Anne Hathaway being a Catwoman. Anne Hathaway? Really? Anne Hathaway as Catwoman? Really? Anne Hathaway. Ugh. Like, she's so bland. I take it back. I was wrong. She did a great job.
Yeah, the character of Catwoman was never actually referred to as Catwoman, but she was actually just a cat burglar, which I thought worked well in this Nolan world. She wasn't trying to be a cat person. She did a good job, man. She worked. I'm not quite sure if I believe, because they never really explained how she was such a badass and able to beat up all these guys. They explained how Bane can beat people up and Batman is such a tough guy, but Catwoman, where did that come from, you know?
I can agree with that. I feel like that's kind of a problem that's rampant in Hollywood, where you have 110-pound starlets beating up like 250-pound dudes, which is a little hard for me to deal with. I'll give it a pass, but the thing that I have a harder time with is women kicking ass in 6-inch stilettos. That is kind of my personal cross to bear.
Why? Is it hard to beat people up in high heels?
It is hard to walk and do anything in high heels. You can't run or jump or walk on any uneven, slick, or natural surface. Like, it's just a nightmare. And it hurts your feet a lot. It's not my favorite thing.
I did not know that, but I've never been a woman, so.
Yeah. But regardless, Anne Hathaway did a fantastic job. I was a little disappointed that I didn't get to see more of her. I feel like when the DVD comes out, there will be a 3.5-hour version where we see a little bit more of her, and I just wish they could have developed her a little bit more so we could have known maybe where she got her training from, and also the scene, you know, where what is she doing when Gotham is tearing itself apart.
Actually, I heard that the original screenplay for The Dark Knight Rises was 400 pages long.
Wow.
On the first draft.
That's like a 400-minute movie.
And I think it's also interesting that coincidentally, the film was 2 hours and 45 minutes long, and that is also the maximum running time of an IMAX film.
Oh, well that's interesting.
I guess I could theorize from that there were possibly a lot of things that were cut out of this film to, you know, wedge it in there. They really had a limit that they had to fit. So maybe there's a lot of things that were missing.
I can see that, but at the same time, I'm just looking forward to the director's cut DVD. Hopefully Christmas.
This whole thing actually reminds me of, remember when Halle Berry was Catwoman? That was fun.
Oh, man.
Actually, I hope she feels really bad now because she's the only one that's had a whole movie about Catwoman, and she was by far the worst Catwoman that any history will ever have.
Yes.
In fact, Halle Berry has ruined 2 superheroes. She ruined Storm in the X-Men with the whole Toad line that I'm not even going to repeat because that's getting old.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
Who wrote it?
And then
Who okayed it?
She got 2 chances to do superheroes, blew them both.
And you know what, Hollywood? I'm pretty sure that there are other black actresses out there besides Halle Berry, so maybe you want to give one of them a shot.
Halle Berry's a good actor. She was good in Monster. Did you see Monster?
Well, I mean,
Nailed it. She doesn't care about superheroes.
Yes,
she
she
thinks
doesn't.
they're below
She
her.
doesn't. She doesn't
You could
care
tell
about
in
superheroes.
Storm and X-Men, you could tell she's like, this is ridiculous. Where's my paycheck? I'm just here to fill this role.
Yeah, well, I mean, because of her also, she got a much bigger role in the third X-Men. Not that the third X-Men's any good, Brett Ratner. Because of her, she had other characters got cut because she demanded a larger role for what?
Oh, is that true? Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
If Halle Berry gets another chance at any other superhero, I'm going to pick it outside of Universal Studios. There's a lot of things in this movie I just have to accept.
Yeah. Yes, the stock market deal, like, I don't know shit about the stock market, so I'm just gonna have to accept whatever he tells me, so...
Right, and there's tons of things in this movie that you just have to be like, okay, I guess. And if you stop to really criticize it, like 10 more things have already happened in the time that you've second-guessed things.
He keeps the pacing very quick, and it just keeps going.
The pacing and the emotional feeling overrides all things,
Yes.
more than giving us time to really explain the plausibility of elements. So another thing that happens in this movie, and I just have to accept it, is the scene where Bane breaks Batman's back. Although he doesn't really break his back, he kind of dislocated his vertebrae, which is kind of like a dislocated shoulder, or at least they told me that was what it was like. And, it seemed like a pretty quick recovery. The guy just popped it back in, and then he's down on the ground doing push-ups, and...
That is not how back injuries go. In the comics, Bane breaks Batman's back, and he can no longer be Batman. And he is eventually healed through paranormal means, I believe. And in this film, I think that was definitely the biggest pill I had to swallow was, here's a rope and a guy to punch your vertebrae back in, and then in 4 months you're good. You're ready to... You're not going to be doing push-ups, like, anytime soon. And the part where he climbs and fails twice and falls down, he's got that rope around his middle, and he catches like this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, you just broke your back again. Way to go. I really enjoyed the scene where Selena Kyle is in the bar, shit goes bad, and all the police show up, and she just sits there and starts screaming her head off, acting like, oh, and everyone just ignores her. No man wants to deal with an emotional woman who's in shock. They're just like, oh, fuck this. Like, we gotta get the bad guys.
She'll use being a weak woman trick to get by.
Yes. Well, she uses everything to her advantage, and in our society, in the entire world, men constantly underestimate women and do not want to deal with them when they are screaming or crying.
Yeah.
Speaking of men underestimating women, let's talk about Talia.
Okay.
I am a fan of Talia. I really enjoy her character. In fact, if you like Talia, you should maybe check out Batman Incorporated, the new Grant Morrison Batman title that's been coming out. Talia is a badass in the comic. She is not to be trifled with. Talia is very smart. She's cunning. She was raised by Ra's al Ghul. She has been trained. She is truly the daughter of Ra's al Ghul. I think that maybe a lot of viewers don't really understand that Talia was behind all of it. It wasn't Bane. Bane was her right-hand man, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure Bane helped her come up with the plans, but it was her plan.
So it's more like Bane was the muscles and Talia was the brains behind the whole operation.
Yes.
You're led to believe in the beginning that Bane is pulling off this hugely elaborate scheme all by himself, but really it was Talia and all her resources from the League of Shadows getting this plan in action.
Yes. Talia rules! And I think a lot of people don't really understand that, but upon second viewing of the film, you will notice all of her plans that
she was there early on, getting intel from Wayne Enterprises.
Talia had supplanted herself within Wayne Corporation to make sure that they did not succeed in stopping her. But they didn't know that, it's Bane, it's all Bane.
Right. I thought it was interesting that this was technically the third time the League of Shadows has tried to destroy Gotham.
Yeah.
The first time being time where they tried to economically ruin Gotham decades before, and Wayne's father stopped them. One thing I was thinking is that it was really easy to raise an army of goons in this city. Very easy to find.
I feel like the League of Shadows kind of is a point. I feel like Gotham is a shitty fucking place, and I don't know if I would want to live there necessarily, because it is pretty easy to raise a host of villainous assholes to help you execute your plot against the city of Gotham. I mean, they did it in Dark Knight. Joker did it in Dark Knight. And
Scarecrow.
Well, even Scarecrow, even in the first one, Ra's al Ghul, had people all infiltrated within Gotham,
But I mean, I guess that's a point. This is the really horrible city, and that's why we need to destroy Gotham.
Yeah, and but I think it's interesting when your villains have a point that you kind of understand, that you can sympathize with. I think that is what you usually see is a crazy lizard monster whose giant plan is to, turn everyone in the city into lizard people.
Let's talk about IMAX. You know what? I really like seeing a movie in IMAX. I think it's so much more effective than 3D.
Definitely.
You know, we're definitely bombarded by advertisements that tell us that 3D is so great, but IMAX is the
Far
real
more
deal.
beautiful.
And it really pays off in a movie like this because you have so many impressive wide shots. I would say if I were a big budget Hollywood director, I would want to shoot things in IMAX. I would be excited about that, and I would not be excited about forcing people to watch 3D.
It's a gimmick.
You know, and I know the reason that there are so many 3D movies and not IMAX movies is because there are only so many IMAX theaters. And you can actually put 3D in any theater, but you can't put IMAX in any theater.
That makes sense.
So they can make a lot more money from 3D.
That's unfortunate. I'd like to take a moment to illustrate why I hate 3D.
Okay.
I wear glasses, and they are real prescription glasses that I have to wear to see movies. I go to a 3D movie, and I'm wearing my glasses, and then they're like, here's some more glasses. And then I have to put these glasses on over these glasses, and it fits weird, and it's heavy on my head, and it hurts my ears, and it's fucking annoying.
Not to mention everyone else's nose oils you have to rub into your face.
Ugh, gross. Yes.
The movie was good, but you know, the plot was so complicated, I think I may have missed a few things here or there, so I have some questions. Maybe you could answer for me.
Okay.
How many cops were there stuck in the sewers?
3,000 cops were stuck underneath the
Okay.
city for 5 months.
What did all of these cops eat in the sewers while they were down there?
I believe they were being provided food. I believe it was Bane because he didn't want to look like too big of a dick, and he was trying to give the city hope.
During the anarchy events in Gotham, what were all the regular citizens doing? We didn't even really get to see much of them.
Yeah, it seemed like the streets were always deserted, like everybody was just shut in, staying in their homes so they wouldn't get raped by all the criminals that just fucking got out of Blackgate.
Okay.
That's where I'd be.
How exactly was it that Batman survived in the end? What were the physics of the situation there when he flew out in the ocean?
Yeah, that's a stumper.
So does Batman have radiation cancer now from the nuclear blast that he barely escaped?
Probably. I would assume most of Gotham is going to have birth defects with their children later on and have to deal with flipper babies.
Maybe that's where the Penguin will come from. All the radiation that Gotham has been suffering causes flipper babies, and we'll have that in Batman 4.
I hope that Danny DeVito comes back.
What were the details of Bane's face mask? How exactly did that work? Did he make that?
Not sure. I really don't understand fully the mask deal, I'm not gonna lie to you. Somehow this mask made him to where he didn't feel pain because he got messed up really bad and he felt pain all the time, but
Yeah.
it's like, is it pumping a drug into him to where he doesn't feel pain, or is it itself blocking pain? Alright, so now let's start talking about the mediocre mess that is The Amazing Spider-Man.
I'll tell you what's a mess. Her stupid hair. Yeah. Her voice is annoying. It hurts my ears. I can't even listen to this shit. Yeah. You should say it. Type that in.
Aren't you gonna do something about this?
It's okay. Everything is under control. Just don't talk back to it. Keep doing what you're doing. What were you saying about The Amazing Spider-Man being not so good?
Well, look, man, I can't do anything about the quality of my fucking voice, okay? That's not something that I can change or...
Your voice is fine, trust me. Just keep doing what you were doing.
But, I mean, what do you know about trolls anyways? I mean, you're just a plumber.
Look, the truth is, I'm not really a plumber.
What?
I'm a troll hunter.
Ah!
Yeah, we've had this whole area on our troll radar for quite some time
Oh
now.
my god, I should have known. I should have known.
If you're gonna want to get through this, you're gonna have to listen to me.
You're the expert. I guess I do have to listen to you. Alright, well, let's talk about Spider-Man.
What does Comic Girl 19 think of The Amazing Spider-Man? Will Comic Girl 19 get rid of her trolls? Find out in the exciting conclusion in part 2 of this review!